What's up with my gut? The 6 overlooked reasons why you have digestive distress and how you can take back your health. Millions of people suffer with digestive issues. Tonight, we're going to discuss how your digestive system serves as an integral role in your overall health. I'm going to share a little bit of science, however, I promise not to geek out too much. Stick around to the end as I'm going to provide some valuable tips that may change your life. I know many of you have been struggling with digestion and gut issues that have affected your life. I know this because I am one of you, and so is my daughter. You may be suffering with bloating, gas, constipation, diarrhea, or maybe you've been diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, Crohn's, colitis, or even reflux and heartburn. Or maybe you are having difficulty losing weight or suffer with fatigue, brain fog, and joint pain, not knowing that these symptoms could be related to a gastrointestinal GI imbalance. Type yes if you think you have any of these or other gut issues that prompted you to take time away from your family and listen to this presentation. It's not just the pain associated with these types of digestive issues, it's also how they affect our everyday lives. You just want to feel normal again. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them below and I will answer as many as I can during this webinar. You can also private message me if you have more personal questions. So let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Michael Kaye. I'm a chiropractic physician practicing since 1988. I'm a certified functional medicine practitioner. I am a primal health coach. I hold a postgraduate degree in rehabilitation from the American Chiropractic Rehabilitation Board. I'm an author. I authored a book called A Boomer's Guide to Chronic Pain. I'm an avid reader. I'm an exercise and nutrition nut. I love listening to podcasts. I'm a dog lover. I'm a husband. I'm a father of 2 grown children. So I want to share with you my why. Why am I presenting this webinar? Many of my patients are frustrated with feeling awful and are experiencing a myriad of gut issues. They feel pain, they are drained, and they are fatigued. We call this pain, brain, drain. Patients experience pain. They have brain fog and low energy, and many of my patients suffer with joint and muscle pain, unexplained weight gain, and autoimmune dysfunction. In my teens, I was given a diagnosis of colitis. Knowing what I know now, it was most likely irritable bowel syndrome with diarrhea. I was drinking at least a gallon of sweetened iced tea on a daily basis and eating hoagies, pizza, and cheesesteaks throughout the week. This doesn't even take into account the soft pretzels and tasty cakes I was eating on a daily basis. It tasted wonderful, don't get me wrong, but it was no wonder that my gut became a source of pain and frustration. When I saw my doctor, he prescribed Imodium. I was so thankful for this medication because, to be honest, it felt like I was chained to the toilet. I mean, seriously, I couldn't leave the bathroom. When you suffer with gut issues, you know where all the toilets are from when you leave your house to the point of your destination. You're like a GPS, but for toilet locations. Type in yes if you know what I mean. And yes, my doc was helpful and I was grateful for the medications. However, what he didn't do was order a stool test and provide nutritional guidance. So my driving force? I want you to feel good again. As I said before, your life has been turned upside down because of the way you feel. When you suffer with gut issues, simple acts such as socializing is no longer fun. It seems every time family and friends get together, it's always around food. We always seem to celebrate everything with food. A baby is born, we get food. Honor someone's passing, they bring food. A new job, a loss of a job, it doesn't matter. It's always around food. The problem is when family and friends get together, you wonder if your gut will remain quiet for the duration. If you've been in this situation before, and I know I have, type in yes. And I can also tell you that when I suffered with my irritable bowel syndrome, my energy was spent. So how many of you would like to get your energy back? If so, I may be able to help you with that by using functional and lifestyle medicine. This is one of my favorite slides. It truly demonstrates the importance to look for the underlying cause, the root cause of disease and dysfunction. There can be many reasons for gastrointestinal complaints, so it's important to look for the root cause versus just trying to control or manage the symptoms. So why are you here today? I would love to know that. I'd love to know why you're here. What can't you enjoy because your gut is stopping you? Do you want more energy? More energy to play with your kids, more energy to feel better so you can be more productive at work, to have more energy to pursue your dreams. Let me ask you this question. Are you committed? Are you committed to getting over your digestive issue? Type in yes if you're truly committed. The reason I ask this question is that all goals and tasks require a commitment. Are you committed to changing your lifestyle? Are you committed to your health? Are you committed to your goals and to yourself? When you're in poor health, you can't reach your other life goals. Some people want to travel the world. Some want to become wealthy and famous. And some just want to pursue their hobby or spend time with their family and friends. However, these goals are hard to achieve when you are feeling awful, when you're suffering with stomach pain, when you are afraid to leave your house. In fact, you are consumed by your condition. So if you're committed, type in yes. And if you are, congratulations. See, a person who is healthy has 1,000 dreams. A person who is not healthy just has one dream, and that is to be healthy. And when you can give someone their health back, they can go after their dreams. So who's this workshop for? This workshop is for people who want to be heard, not herded in and out of the doctor's office. This is one of the complaints I hear all the time. I'm not being heard. I'm not being listened to. This workshop is for people who want to successfully overcome their health challenges, create practical and sustainable health habits, uncover the root cause of the health challenge, and spend less hours researching online. And when we are done, you will be asking new questions. You will know the most common cause of digestive health issues. You will understand why the current approach is failing most people. You will know exactly what your next steps are, and you will be presented with a life-changing opportunity for joining me today. And at the end of this on-demand training, I will share with you how we can have a one-on-one discussion about your health. I invite you to stay to the end as I have an awesome offer. And I'm sure you have some insightful questions, and I want to go over any objections now. And I want to get clear on your path, as this may be new territory for you. So I'm sure you're thinking, this type of care is going to be expensive. Well, here's the thought. Ask yourself, how much is your health worth? Given the rise in cost of health insurance, copays, and deductibles, investing in your health now with the goal of not being sick saves you money. It saves you money by not having to pay towards copays and deductibles, pay towards procedures, pay towards medicines, and even more importantly, no lost time from work. The biggest return on your investment is the ability to spend pain-free time with family and friends. I always tell my patients, listen, you're not wealthy enough to be sick, and therefore your best investment is in yourself. I'm sure you're asking, will my insurance cover this test that we're going to talk about? Well, I'm pretty sure you already know that answer, as most insurance companies are covering less and less. They like to have the control of your health, and I'm inviting you to take your health back. Why do I order lab testing? Well, lab testing saves you money, time, and frustration. Lab testing can be a highly effective and affordable strategy that may lead to the root cause, again, the underlying cause of your dysfunction. It's a strategy that has helped hundreds of patients find out why they are sick. And you may be questioning why your doctor has not ordered this test. Well, as we said, it's not always covered by commercial insurances. And your doctor may not have ordered this test because he or she may not be familiar with this type of advanced lab testing. Now, how do we get from here, the current state, to there, the desired state? I won't lie. It's a good feeling when you can change somebody's life for the better. I like that. I like making somebody feel better. When after sitting with someone and learning their story, ordering the right test, and applying the lifestyle changes, the right nutrition, the right supplements, the right testing at the right time, and then to hear not only has her gut symptoms improved, but other symptoms such as low energy and joint pain also improved, it's a wonderful thing. Freedom is not being in pain. And here's a testimony from one of my patients. I wanted to share this with you. See, I attend a lot of conferences to stay on the cutting edge of healthcare. And my patients know they can easily contact me. That's why I give them my cell phone number. They can text me. They can call me. And this patient was happy to share about her visit. She came to the facility. She had some back pain, some gut issues. I changed her diet a bit and recommended some lifestyle changes, and she's doing great. This patient here, after attending one of my workshops, joint pain and digestive issues improved. And this patient, another great case, waist size reduction, joint pain, and brain fog gone. This is why I do what I do. So you may be thinking, will this work for me? Today, I will share with you this highly effective and affordable strategy that will help uncover the root cause of digestive issues and help manage or end chronic suffering by identifying the root cause of illness. I'm sure you've tried other things and may have already spent a lot of money without direction. It's time to get some direction and move forward with a roadmap towards a healthier you. Remember, without hope, there's no health, and you can't even conjure a solution. So let's begin with the end in mind. Current state: tired, unmotivated, brain fog, depressed, stressed out, low self-esteem, and a roller coaster of being ill. And we want to get to the desired state where you're energetic, motivated, have clarity, you're happy, you're calm, confident, and balanced. Can you imagine what it's like to be healthy? I want you to imagine a healthy state of mind and body. Health is not just the absence of symptoms. True health is vitality and energy. Think about your end goal. Where do you see yourself? If you didn't feel the way that you feel today, what goals or hobbies would you pursue? How would you spend your pain-free time? How will you get there? So we're going to talk about the 6 overlooked causes of digestive disorders: digestive sequencing, intention, low stomach acid, food sensitivities, leaky gut, and stealth infections. So we'll take this one by one. So digestive sequencing. Digestion is like a car wash. It must happen in the right order. You can't put the soap on the car first, dry your car, then put the water on the car, right? And if the parts of the car wash are not working efficiently or together, the car wash breaks down and your car does not get cleaned. Since digestion starts in the mouth, chewing is extremely important. If you see undigested food in your stool, you are definitely not chewing enough. Some studies reveal that chewing your food for 44 times is the amount needed for proper digestion. That's what I said, 44 times. Now, listen, I struggle with that concept. I think chewing your food 44 times, even for me, is crazy. I don't have the time to chew each bite 44 times. However, if you are a fast eater, you will need to definitely slow down. And this is creating a new habit. One of the practices I utilize is the fork method. With this method, you don't cut all your food at once, right? Because if you cut your food all at once, you start shoveling the food in. Using your fork and knife, cut your food into a bite-sized morsel amount. Take a bite. Put your fork down on a plate and do not pick up that fork until you have chewed and swallowed your food. By default, you will slow the eating process and help your digestion. You do have the power to slow down. When you think of your digestion and digestion or digestive sequencing, think of a giant tube that starts in the mouth and ends with the anus. Digestion begins in the mouth. Then it continues to the esophagus, then to the stomach, the small intestine, then large intestine, then out. What happens along the way is important. This tube affects us inside and out. For example, skin conditions such as eczema, acne, dry skin, and hives can be a manifestation of what's happening on the inside expressed outside. And since we're talking about the fact that digestion starts in the mouth, it is extremely important to discuss oral hygiene. Infections in the mouth like root canals, abscesses, tongue sores, and periodontal disease can cause inflammation and difficulty swallowing and chewing. Chewing signals stomach acids. So chewing signals the stomach acid. This stomach acid is vital for digestion, especially protein. If you have difficulty gaining weight or gaining muscle, low stomach acid may be a culprit. Stomach acid, combined with chewing, signals the pancreas to make enzymes to primarily break down carbohydrates. And the gallbladder, which stores bile, releases to help break down fat. As food moves through the digestive system, the last step is the large intestine, then out through the anus. One last tip. Check your poop. That's what I said. Check your poop. Here's the Bristol stool chart. And you want to poop a snake every day. You want a snake's worth of poop every day. Now, if you're straining and constipated, so if you go more than 2 days without pooping, constipated, or if you're just straining, or you don't feel you're quite emptying, I would strongly recommend an evaluation. And if you see food particles in your poop, then you may need to question why you're not breaking down that food. Next, intention. Growing up in a large city, my mother would always remind me to be aware of my surroundings, to be conscious of my actions and movements, and to act and move with intention. This same premise is true with eating. So I ask, are you eating too fast? Are you answering emails and phone calls while eating? Are you scrolling on your phone? One of my patients who was treating for IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, was eating in front of the television watching the news. Watching the news. That's probably like the worst thing you could do, even without eating, let alone with eating. So watching the news and eating has to be one of the worst things you can do when it comes to digestion. So your surroundings are important for proper digestion. Let me ask you this. Do you eat because you're hungry or bored? Do you eat because it's time to eat? Do you eat to satisfy a craving? Do you eat because you're stressed? Do you notice when someone has a stressful day, they don't reach for the broccoli and sauerkraut, they reach for the chips, dip, and ice cream. And it's kind of funny when you look at the word stress, that's the word dessert spelled backwards. So when you're stressed, you seem to go for all those sugary type of cravings. Now, do you think you could eat without any distraction? We must be conscious of our food and surroundings to assist with proper digestion. Regardless of your religious or spiritual background, there's usually a period of thankfulness for the food that we're to eat. It's about taking a moment. You don't have to say anything out loud. In fact, all you need to do is just take 5 big belly breaths before you start eating. That's simple exercise. 5 big belly breaths is a great way to start proper digestion. It's actually that simple. Now, as we said before, one shouldn't eat in the setting of stress. Our nervous system is comprised of the sympathetic nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system works automatically. You don't have to do anything. Think fight or flight. The peripheral nervous system is your rest and digest mechanism to return the body to a homeostasis, a balance. If you have to run from a lion, several chemical and hormone actions occur in the body to get you ready. This is a very stressful event. This is the fight or flight. Thankfully, our current everyday stressors are not animals in the wild trying to eat us. However, we're still experiencing stress every day. Whether it's traffic, family members who are ill, money, the job, and the list continues, it is still stress. The body and brain does not recognize the difference in the stressful event of a lion trying to attack us and persistent environmental life stressors. Stress is stress. So whether you are running away from a lion, sitting in traffic getting more and more upset, having a screaming argument with somebody, your autonomic nervous system is working overtime. So if you are stress eating or eating in a stressful setting, watching negative television, scrolling on your phone, or eating with someone you don't like, the digestive organs do not work efficiently. And let's talk briefly about social isolation. Just as eating in front of the TV and other electronic distractions are bad for you, so is eating alone. And eating with company you don't like is not helpful either. In fact, when you are having a good time and you're eating with somebody that you enjoy being with, or you're at a party that you enjoy, you may be able to enjoy foods that would normally bother you. Now, it doesn't bother you just because you're in the right setting. So intention has 4 components. The first is choose. It's important to make the right choices. Food is a source of fuel, it's energy. And just like our cars, if we choose to fill our tanks with poor quality gas or our engine with cheap oil, the car will eventually break down. It's no different than us. If we choose poor quality foods, poor sources of energy, we can experience symptoms, irritable bowel syndrome, gas, bloating, etc. So you want to choose properly. So treat yourself like a Lamborghini and not like a Ford Pinto. Next, chew. Chew your food slowly, like we discussed earlier. Some studies say we should chew our food 30 to 40 times before we swallow the food. Sounds crazy, right? Just try it out. Even if you don't chew your food 30 to 40 times, just slowing down will help with digestion and absorption. And chill. Eat in a relaxed state. Sitting in front of the television, watching the news, or checking your email, or watching a video on your computer is not helping your digestion. You want a relaxed environment as it helps with digestion sequencing. And cherish. Be thankful and grateful for the food that you're about to receive and eat. Some people like to pray before they eat, giving thanks for the food they're about to have. Some thank the gods for the food. The American Indians would give thanks after a hunting expedition. You don't have to join any religion or go on any spiritual quest. In fact, you don't even have to say anything out loud. You can just say it in your head or not say it at all. Just taking a deep breath before you start eating and being grateful for your meal is a great start for proper digestion. The digestive system is where most mysterious illnesses begin and symptoms start. If your digestive system is not properly balanced, it really doesn't matter much. It doesn't matter much if you're eating all natural or all organic, and it won't matter if you're taking any supplements or not because you have poor absorption. Your gut's not balanced. It's not normal to have bowel issues after you eat. It's not normal to have cramps after you eat. It's not normal to have bloating or pain. Since 80% of the immune system is created in the gut, one can understand that not properly digesting your food, you can experience a myriad of gut issues as well as skin issues, brain fog, joint pain, autoimmune conditions, and a variety of illnesses. So to summarize intention, choose the right foods, chew those foods thoroughly, do it in a relaxed, chilled environment, and cherish the food. Next is low stomach acid. Stomach acid is very powerful. It has to be, because it has to break down the food. Chronic stress, stealth infections like H. pylori, and not living a proper lifestyle, and certain medications are just some of the factors contributing to low stomach acid production. With low stomach acid, we don't make the right digestive juices to break down our food. So you could be eating all organic, and you're most likely only benefiting from little because the food's not being broken down properly. Unfortunately, many people with low stomach acid can also be caused by increased stress, diabetes, and cardiometabolic disorders. Many people who suffer with low stomach acid may actually experience awful, awful smelling flatulence, and this is due to poor digestion. So if food lays around in your gut and doesn't get properly broken down and does not move through, it will definitely putrefy. So the symptoms of low stomach acid: heartburn, GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disease. You get indigestion, belching, or burping after meals. Bloating or cramping, you get gas within an hour after eating. Constipation, diarrhea, it would be caused by chronic intestinal infections. Food sensitivity, undigested food in your stools. Acne, eczema, you can have chronic fatigue, dry skin, and dry hair. So now I want to talk about food sensitivities. There are different types of sensitivities to food. There's the allergic response, there is intolerance, and then there's sensitivity. One can be allergic where they suffer like an immediate immune-mediated response. This can occur within an hour or two. You can experience itchiness, hives, skin eruptions, watery eyes, difficulty breathing, gas, or bloating. Now, an intolerance is the inability to tolerate a certain food like gluten. This is a delayed response leading to symptoms of bloating, gas, brain fog, and joint pain. And last is a sensitivity, which is a combination of the above, but both of them. So you just don't feel well. You have stomach complaints, you have headaches, you got fogginess, you got difficulty concentration, you got joint pain after you eat certain foods. The combination of food sensitivity and low acid can create havoc in the gut. Many patients don't even know that they suffer with food sensitivity, as they think their symptoms are normal. You may think it's normal to experience some bloating or constipation or diarrhea after you eat, but just because it happens all the time does not make it normal. For example, when I grew up, I watched my parents eat Rolaids and Tums on a daily basis. In fact, they kept these Rolaids and Tums on the counter. I thought they were just after dinner mints, and I saw them eat it, so I myself, probably around the age of 10, started eating them every night after dinner. Guess what? Just because it's done all the time doesn't mean that it's normal. That was not normal. Now, with certain foods, one may experience bloating, rashes, headaches, brain fog, joint pain, sweating, itching, and food sensitivity can cause a lot of these problems. Now, for some of my patients, when I reduce nightshades, such as eggplant, tomatoes, potatoes, and peppers, with patients who suffer with autoimmune disorders or joint pain, they respond very well. I notice many of my patients are gluten sensitive, and when they reduce or eliminate gluten, and that includes reducing and eliminating grains, they often feel much better. And keep in mind, just because you didn't test positive for celiac disease does not mean you're not sensitive to gluten products. You may not have celiac disease, but you still may be sensitive. And this is known as non-celiac gluten sensitivity. In fact, you may not be sensitive at all to a certain food. It may be you're sensitive to the chemical, such as glyphosate, that has been sprayed on the food. Glyphosate causes a molecular change to the food, which in turn may be a contributing factor to gut issues, especially what we call leaky gut, and we'll talk about that in a bit. So 7 signs of food sensitivity: brain fog, headaches, moodiness, food cravings, fatigue, heartburn, joint pain, acne, rosacea, dark circles on your eyes, gas, bloating, or constipation. So now we're going to talk about leaky gut. When you think of the digestive system, we want you to think of it as like a garden hose that runs through you. And think of that hose with tiny little holes. And that's what our digestive system looks like. And protein and bacteria can get through those holes into the blood. You want to keep in mind that 80% of our immune system is in our digestive tract. Now, when proteins leak through, hence leaky gut, leak through those tiny holes, those tight junctions, which we call zonulin, this causes the immune system to react and question, why is this protein here? And it starts to attack it. And this causes inflammation throughout the body. Hence, leaky gut. This is also known as intestinal hyperpermeability. So when you think of your gut, you want your gut to be strong, like a Berber carpet. When you look at a Berber carpet, the pile is tight and they're close together, as opposed to a shag carpet where the pile is just loose, right? So you want these junctions to be nice and tight. This clip here demonstrates how food particles or bacteria leak through the gut. And you can see it. This just goes right through what we call the villi, and it goes right through the gut. It's a great example. It's one of my favorite slides. So the signs of leaky gut: chronic diarrhea, constipation, gas, or bloating, nutritional deficiencies, poor immune system. This is the individual that's getting sick all the time. They get sick, and 2 weeks later they get sick again. Maybe they go on antibiotics, which worsens the gut, and they get sick again. People have headaches, brain fog, memory loss, excessive fatigue. So if you have any of these, type yes in below. Skin rashes and problems such as acne, eczema, or rosacea. Cravings for sugar or carbs. If you experience cravings for sugar or carbs, type in yes. I want to know who has this craving. Arthritis or joint pain, depression, anxiety, ADD, ADHD, autoimmune diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, celiac disease, or Crohn's. And then we have stealth infections. Our gut is an ecosystem housing organisms including bacteria, yeast, fungi, virus, and protozoan, all throughout our digestive tract. One of the main stealth infections is H. pylori, it's this bacteria. The problem with a stealth infection is you don't know you necessarily have one. Another problem with stealth infections could be parasites, and parasites are a problem. When you have a parasite, it's something that is living in you at your expense. It's like a renter who doesn't pay the rent. Sometimes they can be the root cause of many digestive issues. Parasites are mostly in your large intestine, but they lead to a cascade of effects. So it's important to check for H. pylori and parasites. So how do I know what's happening in my gut? Well, there's a test for that. To move forward, you will need some clarity. You will need some direction. To get where you need to go, you will need a roadmap, a health GPS, which acts as your guide. I'm sure you often feel alone, judged not only by family and friends, but also sometimes by doctors and therapists. I'm sure you've been told, well, it's all in your head, when most likely it's really stemming from your gut. And symptoms from the gut can cause that brain fog, that dizziness, that difficulty concentration. So you need to have a strategy and a plan. I'm sure you tried do-it-yourself gastrointestinal GI fixes on your own, and that shows commitment, and it's an admirable quest. However, not all do-it-yourself projects equate with a great outcome, and you can make mistakes along the way, especially because you don't have the right information and the right tools. So this is where functional medicine testing comes into play. And I'm going to talk about the GI map test, which is very valuable. This gives us information we just can't get in other ways. Things happen on a microscopic level. So even if you feel well, hidden pathogens can contribute to your symptoms. Gut issues can lead to joint pain, skin issues, brain fog, and of course digestive issues. I have had patients that have suffered with joint pain, fatigue, and brain fog, which lessened or disappeared altogether after assessing their complaint, ordering proper tests when necessary, and changing their nutrition lifestyle. Can you imagine feeling different in just 3 weeks? In just 3 weeks. One of my patients did so well, his doctor actually took him off the reflux medication. As we discussed earlier, You don't always know where you're going to pick up a pathogen. You don't always have to travel outside the country to contract a pathogen. I worked in restaurants for many years, as did my wife, and I'm sure you know there aren't always the cleanest from a food handling perspective. However, it's not just food handling. I remember being at a restaurant with my cousin, his wife, and his daughter. My cousin's wife and daughter, along with my wife, became very ill the next day. I'm talking very ill. One of them actually went to the hospital. However, my cousin, my son, and I did not. The difference was the ladies visited the restroom and the guys didn't. So again, you never know where you can pick up these pathogens. You can pick up pathogens from your kids, from pets, from water, food, and the list goes on. So it's important to test to assess what's going on with the gut. Often, by the time symptoms arise on the scene, you're well on your way to having health issues. Symptoms occur, and what do? We put the Band-Aid on. Maybe we try an antacid, maybe we try a proton pump inhibitor, maybe we even try a probiotic. But yet, we still didn't determine the root cause of the issue. The symptoms now become a chronic health issue. Just as you should have a baseline evaluation for regular blood work and a follow-up every year, you should do the same with functional lab testing. So, the GI map test for bacterial, parasitic, and viral pathogens, test for H. pylori, which we discussed, bacterial flora, opportunistic bacterial, such as overgrowth. You may have heard of small intestine bacterial overgrowth, fungi and yeast, intestinal health markers, antibiotic resistance genes. Remember, symptoms are the last thing that show up, not the first thing. By the time the symptoms occur, something is already going on, or worse yet, we don't do anything with the symptoms we feel. It's like driving your car with your oil light on and not paying attention to it. Something will eventually break down. So here's the GI map test, and as you can see, this test covers quite a bit. On this slide here, we're talking about bacterial, parasitic, and viral pathogens. And on these two slides here, looking at H. pylori, normal bacterial flora, opportunistic bacteria looking for dysbiosis and overgrowth in the gut, autoimmune triggers, fungi and yeast. And on these last two, we're looking at parasites. We're looking at intestinal health. How well are you digesting carbohydrates and fat? We're looking at gastrointestinal inflammation markers. We're looking at the immune system and antibiotic-resistant genes. It's a very thorough test. Listen, no one is invincible. Our immune system starts in the gut with the ability to digest, absorb, and assimilate the foods we eat. Often, pathogens stay stealthy and can lead to symptoms such as joint pain, brain fog, skin issues, and gut complaints. When you're looking to create optimal health, you must look to the gut, especially if you have digestive symptoms. I don't want to guess what people's health. How many of you have been put on a GI protocol without testing? Don't guess, test. Often my patients try probiotics and feel worse. I know, I was one of them. I took probiotics. It killed my gut. And it's frustrating because we hear that probiotics are good for you. It's kind of like, shooting in the dark, hoping to hit something. And sometimes you can actually end up causing more problems. That's why testing is important. So before one starts to take supplements, vitamins, or probiotics, it's important to balance the gut. If your digestive system is not operating efficiently, then you will not reap the benefits of quality supplements and organic foods. So in essence, you're pretty much wasting your money. So by now, I'm sure you can see how testing can lead to the right answer. With the right testing, the right practitioner, and the right partnership, this can be transformative. Listen, I'm sure you tried lots of things, medicine, vitamins, supplements, diets, but if you're on this webinar, your do-it-yourself methods aren't working. It's not just the lab testing, that's just a piece of the puzzle. We also need to take a deep dive into your lifestyle. I want to know where you've been, what you've done, and more importantly, where you want to go. In this setting, you as a patient, you're an active partner. So when we look at a GI map test, it's cost effective as it brings great value, it's very accurate, it's highly actionable as you can do something with the results, it's a single sample collection, it's a very small amount, it looks at the root cause and mechanism, and there's a quick turnaround time in 7 to 10 days. In addition to the testing and the consultation, there are also additional action steps you can do right now that I want to share with you to start feeling better. So we're going to talk about the 5 R's for gut restoration. 1, remove the source of the imbalance. This is getting rid of the pathogens, the allergic foods, and we want to find out what's causing this imbalance in the system. We want to replace any factors that are missing. So if you're suffering with Low hydrochloric acid, we talked about that, and you're not digesting your food, we got to replace that. And you may need some digestive enzymes. Next, we want to re-inoculate or repopulate the gut with good bacteria, the lactobacilli, the bifidobacteria. And next, we want to repair the damage. We use this by using glutamine, fibers, and butyrate. And last, we want to rebalance or modify the attitude, diet, and lifestyle of the patient to promote a healthier way of living. So these are the 5 R's for gut restoration. So do you now see why it's important to get to the root cause, why doing the right testing is important, why the current approach is failing so many people, and why personalized healthcare is the only solution? So you ask the right person the right questions, and you get the right testing. I want to debunk the 5 myths that I often hear. The obvious question that we get is, how do you put all the puzzle pieces together so you can start feeling better as soon as possible? Are you ready to change your health for the better, to live the life you want without worrying about your digestive issues getting in the way? So are you still committed? Before we start to wrap up, I want to congratulate you for staying for this whole presentation. So let's debunk the 5 myths. Number 1, I've tried everything. I hear this one often. Quite often, patients have seen many doctors and therapists before coming to the office. And sometimes it's just a matter of better understanding or a different perspective that allows the patient to live a healthier life. You want somebody to look at you fresh with a new pair of eyes. Myth number 2, if this worked, my doctor would know about it. Listen, your doctor works very hard and is often rushed, and he or she has great demands placed upon them from insurance companies, hospitals, or their corporate overlord. I know this because I work with a lot of the primary care docs, and I see a lot of the patients that refer over to me. Sometimes the docs just don't have the time to listen to more than one complaint. I know in my area, sometimes docs have to charge another copay if there's more than one complaint. Also, the docs are there to address your acute issues, right? They're not there to address the chronic issues. They help you with the acute problems. And sometimes they don't even know about functional testing. The next one I hear is, I don't have the time. Well, time is relative, right? So if you don't put in time now, invest in yourself now to take care of yourself, there may not be time later. Being sick will cost not only time but money as well. Invest the time in yourself. Some people say, well, we live longer now, and we do. But what's happening is people are living longer, sicker. You want to live longer, healthier. Next one, functional medicine is too expensive. Well, when you look at the numbers of functional medicine, it's actually very affordable. As when you're sick, you're going to be spending a lot of money for copays, coinsurance, deductibles, and additional money for procedures and medicines, not even including the side effects that medicines can cause. So it's actually cheaper to be healthy. And the last one is, I can figure this out on my own. Well, have you ever watched any do-it-yourself projects on TV? It always seems so perfect. They never pull the camera away back to see that the majority of the time it isn't going right, and often they have to bring the professionals in to do the work, and then as the viewer, we see the end product. Well, I congratulate you for wanting to try to do this on your own. It shows initiative. However, the internet has limitations. Friends and family has limitations. So why risk taking inaccurate advice from people on the internet and actually causing more harm? So it's time to seek the help of a professional. The time is now. Option A, complicated and confusing. Don't do anything and you continue to experience the same symptoms or worsen. Or option B, it's simple. You invest in yourself and you do something now about the way you feel. So let me share with you the Center for Functional Health Optimal Lifestyle Program. This program involves a complete examination, evaluation of past and current medical history, family history, review of medicine, vitamins and supplements, as well as an assessment of your nutritional and lifestyle path. So in a nutshell, I want to know where you've been, what you've been doing, or have done, and most importantly, where do you want to go? The Center for Functional Health Lifestyle Program is an individualized optimal health plan based on evaluation of the 6 pillars of health, which are energy production, detoxification and oxidation, brain health and mindset, diet and digestion, stress hormones and inflammation, and lifestyle environment. This program includes a consultation and evaluation, nutrition evaluation for the creation of a customized nutrition program, a biomechanical assessment to create a personalized exercise program for you, functional lab testing with direct lab pricing, a video interpretation of your lab work, a video of your personalized exercise program, a customized supplement and nutrition program, flex visits to support your progress, an optimum living guide. This is over 230 pages, and this binder will serve as your health resource. You will also have complete email access to me. We invite you to enjoy our Facebook group. You get to do that. That's the Center for Functional Health Optimal Living group. And you get to attend live workshops for free. And during this program, I will be with you every step of the way. So what's the next step? It's really simple, and it's so easy. All you need to do is schedule a free discovery call. You will receive a nutritional assessment questionnaire to complete, which will give me some high-value clues to what's happening with your gut. So when we get on the call, I will go over the results, and we can ask each other questions, and you can also find out if we're going to be a good fit to work together. It's actually that simple. So when was the last time you ever had the chance to actually speak with a doctor before your visit? I tell my patients that intention plus action equals true change. And this is a simple step. And it costs nothing to get on the phone just so you and I can talk to one another. So take action now and schedule your free discovery call. So that's the end of our on-demand training. I thank you, and I wish you and yours a life of happiness and health. Take care. Have an amazing life.